Hi, I'd like to give you a little bit more information about my ebook, and that hopefully will help you in the decision whether to go for it or not. And otherwise, feel free to contact me if you still have questions after this video. So basically, yeah, the ebook contains meal plans for a total of 2 weeks. It starts at a carbohydrate content of 38 grams and it goes down to 12 then at the end, which is, according to Professor Seifried, really the level of carbohydrates we aim for in cancer patients who are obviously in a position and able to follow a ketogenic diet. So what I did when I initially started, and at the time there was hardly any information around for us cancer patients, I obviously looked at the meal plans and recipes and ideas for the ketogenic diet for bodybuilding and weight loss, but also epilepsy. And then I quickly realized that those plans didn't really suit me that well, because first of all, most of them were full of dairy, and as much as I love dairy, it doesn't quite love me as much, especially if I have it every day. So I need to take it easy on dairy. And for some cancer patients, it's a very good idea to limit dairy as best as they can anyway. In my case, it's more that I'm pretty sensitive to it, and that's always been the way that runs in our family. And so I had to limit that and find recipes that were tailored towards that need. But also I'm not very good friends with gluten either. I probably developed through a lot of surgery. I developed a bit more of a sensitive digestive system as well, so I had to be careful with that. And because I stay away from all processed foods anyway, it's pretty easy to just stay off the gluten as well. So I don't buy any of those the low carb bars or low carb breads or bread mixes that quite often have gluten and a lot of other funny ingredients as well that I just don't trust. And that's why I really bake my own breads. I do big batches, say every 2 weeks, and freeze them. So that was the other thing. Yeah, no processed foods, lots of whole foods. And also, one of my major challenge is that I can't have too many eggs and nuts. I mean, I was off them for a whole 6 months on the ketogenic diet because they caused a lot of digestive upset. And so that's why you will see my recipes are very varied, and I try to rotate foods as best as I can as well. And that's also to protect you, especially if you go through treatment, to protect you from developing food sensitivities. So one of the reasons why we can develop food intolerances is that we keep eating the same foods. That's one reason. And stress would be obviously a big thing as well. So the combination of the two is not great for our digestive system. And the other reason why not going nuts on the nuts is that we need to really achieve a good omega-3, omega-6 balance. So with my clients, I quite often get them to test their tissue and see where we're at and how we really have to balance, if we really have to ramp up the omega-3s and limit the omega-6s in especially the nuts and the seeds and the vegetable oils. So that's the other reason why having nuts, you won't see loads and loads of recipes with tons of almond flour, and I prefer using the coconut. It's a safer fat because it's a saturated fat. It's and it doesn't throw us out of that balance. It is very important to achieve that balance for cancer patients, because otherwise they run at risk of going into an inflammatory state, which we tend to be anyway with a tumour. So that's a good idea then to limit the omega-6s, and to some extent also the nightshades that can cause an inflammatory response as well. So the tomatoes, the peppers, aubergines, eggplants, potatoes, so which obviously are out anyway on the ketogenic diet. So these are all loads of factors that I take into consideration when creating meal plans, and I feed all my recipes into a software, and the software then calculates for me each day what the nutrient balance is, where what nutrients might be lacking that day, where my omega-6, omega-3 balance is, and it's very, very carefully calculated. So that's basically what it is about in my ebook, and why it is different to other ketogenic meal plans. So there's a lot of thought has gone into it, and a lot of trying of recipes, and I'll keep going with my research, of course, and I'm trying to create more tools that make it easier to follow a ketogenic diet, and also to follow your measurements and see what foods might affect you going into ketosis. So that's all in the works, and I keep working on recipes obviously as well. I always experiment and try new things, and I'm hoping to post lots and lots as we go along on my website, and be a really, really good resource for all of us cancer patients.